Do you guys want a Yahoo?
Yeah, I love that.
Here's one sent in by Nick G. Thanks. It's a Yahoo Answers user, Ashley, who asks, is it possible to create a poem in your dreams?
Huh.
About 2 months ago, I had a dream about a book of poetry. I opened it and read a poem, and the theme was Where the Green Sky Meets the Blue Earth. I only actually read the first stanza, and the poem was amazing. I was so enveloped by the poem that I was actually sucked into the book and experienced the poem.
Okay.
I've searched and searched, but I can't find a poem about a green sky and blue earth. I really didn't think it was possible to create literature in a dream, but now I'm not so sure. I really want to find that poem. Is it possible to write a poem in a dream? If anyone can help me or at least point me in the right direction, that would be great. I dreamt a poem. It seemed a little long and a little tough, and I had, some nude parts of the dream I wanted to get to, so I did only read the first stanza, but it was amazing. I was so enveloped by the first stanza, which was all I allowed myself to read because of how boring it was. I was sucked into the book and experienced this green sky and blue earth firsthand. Holy shit.
Why is the sky green in this?
It's a fucking dream poem. There are two answers to that, Travis. One, it's a poem. Two, it's a dream.
Yeah, but even in a poem, you're not like, look at that, I don't know, purple tree, and it's like, oh, you're nailing it with this poem thing.
You're like creating some very wild boundaries around what poems can have. Poems can do pretty much whatever, but if they get the color of the sky wrong, it's like next.
Yeah.
Next poem, please.
That's not about creating art and your beautiful, I don't know, rhymes or not rhymes. Come on, poems. Come on, not rhyming. Anybody can not rhyme things. But then you're also like making the sky green? What are you talking? And Earth is brown.
That's entirely possible. You remember when Travis was a copy editor for EE Comics? How many of his works he just sent back across it? Nope.
Where's the punctuation?
Listen, I think your typewriter's got messed up keys in it or something because this is all fucked up. EE.
I just wrote back more commas.
More commas. One line. This is a sentence. EE. You can do better than this. Gosh, I wish I knew other poets.
I know.
Man, there's got to be other ones, right? I've been wondering about this lately.
I am married to a poet. And you would think at some point I would have learned like through osmosis or just from, just kissing. Like I would have absorbed some sort of like knowledge, but literally none.
I feel like there's one named Yates.
There's one named Yeat for sure.
Okay.
Dream poem.
My favorite one is Lord Byron, because where does he get off?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So did you dream? Can you dream? Did all of the George Lucas have a dream about Star Wars, woke up, wrote it down? Not a poem,
No.
But you get what I'm saying.
But Griffin, I'm sorry, but what you are saying, yeah, of course you can dream an idea.
Yeah, this is words.
What this person is saying is that they dreamed about a poem that does exist already that they themselves have never read or seen. So they are trying to find the poem they dreamed about.
Yeah, a very, very helpful user who deserves a Medal of Honor for going above and beyond on Yahoo fucking Answers, named Evelyn, says, best answer, A Rainbow by Donna Brock. Curving up, then down, meeting blue sky and green earth. Evelyn,
okay.
It's clearly the opposite though. Green sky, blue earth.
But
it's
Evelyn is correct.
I appreciate your help, but you did. Come on.
Evelyn gets an A for accuracy.
So,
and a P for poem,
and an R for rainbow,
and an L for letters. There were many.
She gets all of them.
Is
this a poem? Is this episode a poem? I mean, come on. What isn't a poem? Fuck.
I mean, most stuff isn't.
Most stuff ain't poems.
Most stuff ain't.
What do you know? Okay, point to something right now and conclusively prove to me that it's not a poem.
I mean, I guess anything can be a poem, and if that's your philosophy, then 99 and then a funny number of 0.999s after it. I would go on for a long time, and you'd be like, "Wow, that sure is a very small number of things are." Good poem. This episode, yeah, you could maybe write it down and then submit it to poetry class. You'll be expelled from the school for this.
Or lauded. as like the
Yeah.
next like poet laureate
No.
of the world.
I do know this. You have to be right. You have to be writing a poem to make a poem, and it is hard to do it. And I think saying out loud that anything's a poem, so fuck y'all, is maybe a bad tact to take on, Travi.
We're looking down on Wayne's basement, only that's not Wayne's basement. Isn't that weird? And then Wayne says, Garth, that was a haiku. So he was not intending to write a poem, but he did write a poem.
Uh-huh.
But with his phraseology.
Sure.
Or just when like Drew Barrymore in Donnie Darko's is like cellar door, and everyone's like, "Oh God, it's fucking
So both
beautiful.
those things you just mentioned were professional actors reading off a script that somebody had written. Somebody did write that haiku intentionally, Justin. So I'm going to come at you. And for Travis's example, didn't do a poem. I'm pretty sure she read a poem written by a poet at some point. Both of you guys are just, you fucking tanked so bad there on both of the points you're trying to make. Poems are hard. You got to try to make them. I don't
That's
think
a poem. You just made a poem. Poems are hard. You gotta try to make them. That could be a poem. Cut, print, rap. Griffin.
Is it
Yes, do
now
rap
was
it,
it a
Griffin.
rap?
Ooh.
No.
Are poems raps?
Are
Some
raps
of them are,
poems?
yeah. I don't know why I'm having to explain this to the two. It doesn't seem like the sort of taxonomy of these things is too difficult to
I
understand.
feel like as someone who is married to an appreciator of poetry, you, Griffin, are wanting to put a lot of bounds on what is and ain't poems. And I think what Travis and I are saying is very empowering.
Yes.
Because what we're sort of saying is, who knows?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
We
I
don't wanna
think,
put-
I think this is a scenario, Griffin, where when this episode goes up, poets will actually be coming at you.
Yeah,
Oh,
Trying
okay.
to limit their creativity, where I'm saying literally everything is a poem and anything could be a poem, and you're like, no, a poem's got to be like this.
Well,
and you're
don't-
like old man poet
Well, I
who's
don't-
trying to like box them in, and I'm opening the door and setting them free.
I feel like maybe I'm not putting boundaries on them because a poem can take so many forms. But what you all are saying, you're coming up and over me and saying that like fettuccine alfredo, the dish of thick food, can be a poem.
Yes.
And I hate that. I hate that.
It smells stuff out with the noodles.
Yes.
Yeah,
or maybe
sure.
you do it in such a way that somebody eats it like you're a fucking noodle poet, Derek.
Yeah, the cream spills on the Olive Garden table and the sunlight shining through it makes a prism on the floor, and you point down at that and say, look, everyone, a poem. Look before
That's
it goes
a poem.
away.
Yes. It's a pasta poem.
All right.
I'm just saying that maybe, as always, I'm right and you're wrong.
I'm just saying what Travis and I are saying is maybe poems are a collection of letters and spaces and punctuation.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're a collection of glutens and dairy products.
Yes.
And peppercorns. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
could be whatever.
You're talking about discovered poems. I'm talking
Yes.
about undiscovered poems. Like, I'm looking at the periodic table of poems, and you're looking at the first two lines, and I'm saying maybe there's even more squares and lines of poems that we haven't even discovered yet.
Griffin is okay. Griffin didn't know about undiscovered poems.
Yes.
Problem with a lot of poems. Let me clear this up for Griffin, Travis, if I might be so bold.
Please do. Yeah, I'm obviously having some trouble here.
Problem with a lot of poems is that people haven't realized that they're poems yet.
Correct.
So the hard work, a lot of people write poems and it's almost like wasteful because there's lots of poems out there already
Yeah.
that we just haven't sort of unearthed yet. You know what I mean? That are
Yes.
just waiting
That's
to be
true.
discovered.
And I guess, it's not like anybody's ever kicked in the door to Plowshares and said, hey, here's a fettuccine Alfredo. Print this, you fucking cowards. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's fair.
Now, what a lot of people are wondering is what's plowshares.
Yeah, so
And you know what? I don't think that's as important as the fact that fettuccine Alfredo can be a poem.
Did you just
Yeah,
say
that's the-
fettuccine Alfredo?
yeah, how would Plowshares, a literary journal, how would they go about printing fettuccine Alfredo?
like
I guess
Playboy?
they
You squeeze it between the pages of the book, Griffin,
each one. Okay, I thought
like
maybe
pressing a flower.
I thought maybe you upended on the Xerox, whatever shape it takes is the poem. We print that.
maybe
We
that.
put it in.
I like
That's
that.
very
No,
good.
that sounds more like of a McSweeney's
Hey,
thing.
Griffin, you're kind of getting the hang of it now.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
when
You're,
did you-
you're a poet now, boy.
When did you start Plowshares? I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it was. I was doing a weed in the 70s and eating the most delicious bowl of not fettuccine alfredo, but in that family, sort of a carbonara situation.
Yeah.
And I let out a hearty burp. My friend Tim said, "That's a poem," and so the rest is history, baby.
Burp into this book, quick.
Yeah, I burped into the book. I burped all my secrets into it. Tim said, "That's a poem. Quick, slam the books. Slam the book shut before the burp poem gets away." And so that was how that worked. And there are people who are never going to listen to our show again because of this bit.
Because they're too afraid of how truthful it is. Like maybe this episode's a poem.
I've been doing this for long enough now that I can sense these things. I feel like there are some people that have gone beyond mad and found emotions somehow beyond mad, which hopefully will be useful to them in their poetry.
I've never thought of our podcast as us being the Cenobites from the Hellraiser movies, just like trying to make you experience new sort of by subjecting you to new sort of torturous body horrors by desecrating the things that you're passionate about. You can you can transcend the base emotions into something more beautiful that you can then turn into poetry. Yes.
Yes.
I'm only passionate about one thing. Do you all know what it is?
Money?
Money zone?
Money. Yeah, it's money.
Right.
It's money. It's the one thing. It's money.